Hello.
Hi!
Hi. We're here. Hi,
Hi.
Skylar. Hi, Gardner. Welcome.
Is everybody ready to home the Stucks?
Is everybody ready to home the sucks? I think we should do Arati a second, right? We should actually do them in order for once.
You know what? That's valid. I agree with that.
But we have to decide now who's gonna be who.
I think. You know what? I think I'll try Tavros. I think that'd be a really fun one to do.
Okay, valid.
And you know exactly why, based off all the little voices I have. Alright.
Oh yeah, I do know exactly why. God damn it. Yeah, do Tavros first. Leave the best for last. No. I like this music. Yeah, the chat agrees you could have a good Tav voice. Okay. You're enjoying a brisk, head-clearing walk in the Alternian moonlight when the plot comes screaming toward you. Literally. You don't even have time for introspection. You turn your head to see a guy in a wheelchair whizzing down a nearby hill. He's got a phone in one hand, making it difficult for him to control his descent with the other. You quickly rush over in time to see him hit a rock and go flying through the air with an impressive arc. You bring the fallen wheelchair over to him. He stares at you for a second and then pulls himself back into it with a grunt. Here.
Alright, let me find it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder when it's not just
I can only think of that one. Like, you know when dubbing Homestuck comics was really popular? I can only think of that one person's voice. I don't know who they are, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're
I can
talking
hear
about.
it in my head.
I'm almost certain that's Octopimp, isn't it?
Is it?
It has to be Octopimp.
That makes sense. I just don't know. I love this music, though.
Thank you. Weird, ugly alien stranger. I feel like I could push it more.
Uh... Hi, hubby. How are you, boo-boo? Once he's settled into the chair, you look over the boy you just helped. He's lanky and scrawny except for his oversized horns, giving the impression of a boy going through a very awkward puberty. His wheelchair is simple and flimsy, and it looks like it's gone through a lot of wear and tear.
Oh. Oh. Introductorily speaking. Nope.
We'll find her. We'll find her.
Okay. Oh. Introductorily speaking. What the fuck was that?
Little Poindexter ass.
Oh. Introductorily speaking, I should say my name is Tavros.
Yeah, Tavros seems like a guy whose voice cracks a lot, and then once he's older, he has a deep-ass voice. Seems like one of those guys. He sounds like the acne teen from The Simpsons. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Hi, Mr. Simpson! Tavros, as is now usual for you, the name sounds familiar, even though you're not sure any of your other friends mentioned him by name. You give him a proper greeting and then ask what happened, and he nods toward an old watchtower at the top of the hill. Skylar says your voice has too much self-confidence to be Tavros.
I was attempting to scale towards the tower to acquire a rare food spawn go monster. What is named Volp
It's made up words.
Wolf Wolvapine. Wolvapine. It's ranked mythic class, which is one of the rarest of all. At least concerning monsters that can be found in lower blood neighborhoods.
I can hear the sweat. Hang on, I think I have to turn the music down a little bit. To make sure that this boy can be heard.
But it appears to be tragically out of my reach. No matter how much I believe in my ability to pursue it.
I do like Fight a Spawn Go. However you pronounce that word, I don't freaking care.
I know, that's a very cute idea.
You don't know what a phytospawn is, but maybe you could help? You've wrangled a few monsters in your time.
What?
You know, you could help push him up the hill. Maybe fight some giant horrifying beast, the usual.
Wow. Normally, I'm expected to do everything by myself. Always.
Wow. Said it like Owen Wilson.
Wow. Stop!
Wow. Oh, I like this sly,
This is a little
sassy
sassy.
look. This is Sassy Bones. Why does this look like Sassy?
Don't tell Sassy.
Sassy.
Pesterquest artist assigned him. Tavros kin. The only trolls who offer a help are those who live too far away to actually do anything of consequence. Which is fine. I get it, but it's pretty useless to me. Anyway.
A tab assigned Tavros at birth.
No.
What?
I don't want your help. On account of if I take it, I will be weakening myself and failing to grow as a troll. I will just have to try again and again and get grievously hurt in the process, probably. Don't worry.
Tavros begins to wheel back toward the hill. You know how this story goes. You have to spend your entire evening convincing this poor troll boy that it's okay to accept help from others. You launch into a gentle pitch about how help from a friend can...
Well, if I say so, then... if you say so, then I'll accept your help.
Oh, that was easy. You follow Tavros up the hill. When he reaches the steepest part and his wheels begin to lose traction, you step in behind him to give him the little push he needs. The two of you are successful in scaling the hill, and Tavros grins and taps at his phone. Oh, it's... a phone game? No real monsters involved? Holy shit, this is new to you.
Yes! Wolfenstein is now acquired. Thank you so greatly. Maybe the cartoons for Wigglers were right all along. And friendship is truly the greatest source of power to exist.
There's a lot of horse and pony jokes in Homestuck. Do they ever explicitly mention My Little Pony? They have to,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, dude.
They call Dirk a brony, right?
Yeah, Dirk
Yeah.
Dirk has like Rainbow Dash shit all over his room. In Homestuck
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I vaguely remember it, but I couldn't tell if it was a fever dream or not.
That's
Like
how
most
fucking-
things with Homestuck, I can't remember if I made it up in my brain or not.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Finally, someone who gets you. You ask if he wants a quick ride home, and he tilts his head in confusion.
I already have a ride. Always. I'm sitting in it.
Not like that. You tell him it's hard to explain. Just trust you on this one.
Okay, let's go.
With that, you grip his chair and focus your energy, and zap on over to his hive.
Really feeling the Urkel vibes a little bit. But like a sad Urkel.
Yeah.
It's maybe too self-aware. Whoa! Are you magic?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you know any fairies?
No.
Shucks.
Tavros glances around the room, and you follow suit. Your eyes settled on an advertisement for the theatrical run of Pupa Pan. A pinch of special stardust is all it takes to fly. Brought to you by Her Imperious Condescension's 19th favorite theater company. Reserved seating for high bloods. Hecklers will be cold. The rest of the room is rather plain and sparsely decorated. The floor is scattered with messy gaming supplies.
So, this is my hive. What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you... Oh! Would you characterize this pad as sufficiently cool?
Oh yeah, Gardner points out something interesting, that poster was in lime color, which doesn't exist anymore, right? Didn't
Oh,
they all
that's
get murderized?
interesting. They do.
Huh.
Maybe limes were performers in a past time.
You glance at a framed picture of a fey trickster in booty shorts. Sure, yeah, this pad is cool as hell.
Excellent. I hope you would.
I like how he's becoming nerdier as the scene progresses.
Your approval is most good to have. I know, I'm really leaning into it, like, really hard. I thought you might be uninterested on account of me being boring and kind of sad.
He really is the Michael Cera of Homestuck, isn't he?
Ah! You
this-
can't just say that!
But I'm right! But I'm right! It just came
say
to
that!
mind! It just came to me! And like a ton of bricks, it hit me right in my brain.
That just makes me think of Tavros doing the fucking Star Wars thing in his garage.
What are you talking about? Wait, I haven't seen every Michael Cera movie. What are we talking about?
I'm talking about the first Michael Cera thing ever, which was Arrested Development.
Oh, I haven't seen that show.
Where he was like actually like Tavros' age, and they have this running gag where they shoot to a clip of him in the garage with headgear playing Star Wars.
Oh, I just think of him being awkward in Juno. That's the Michael Cera I always think of.
Oh, you're right. Well, Michael Cera's the same in everything, so.
Well, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same.
But I'm specifically thinking of him being like, need some fruit snacks? Or whatever the fuck he says.
Walking around in booty shorts?
Yeah, his running booty shorts. Aw, boring and sad kids are your favorite, you tell Tavros. Wait, that sounds terrible. Ignore that. You mean you relish the opportunity to make people less sad?
Oh, don't worry then, because I'm definitely sorrowful enough to satisfy.
Tavros was the first sad boy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tavros was sad stuck Dave.
Tavros walks. So
Before
sad
Dave was sad
run.
stuck Dave. Just a little bit. Proto sad stuck Dave days.
Tumblr sad boy. Yeah, exactly.
Also, I'm not great at talking either, so we have at least one point of failure in common.
Do you think Tavros downloads TikTok so he can be cool, but nobody likes his TikToks, so he cries?
Yeah. He probably gets like mean comments too.
Yeah. He does the like week old memes because he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or do you think
it's not even that nobody doesn't like his TikToks or sees them. They're just TikToks that
have already
get
been
popular. No, they're TikToks that get popular for the wrong reasons.
I was literally just gonna say, do you think people actually love Tavros, but for the wrong reasons? Like, they like him people think he's joking, that he's like a fake cringe page or something like that? So he has a lot of followers, and he's like, wow, they all think I'm so cool. Little does he know.
Everybody in that situation is loser.
It's true. It's true. Thanks? Tavros flashes you a thumbs up and a wink. He wheels closer to you, and one of his scattered cards crunches under a tread and gets stuck, necessitating a bit of finagling. You must admit, you're a little surprised by the wheelchair. Your experiences on Alternia would suggest that their culture is not very kind to the disabled.
Oh, it very isn't. There is a long story behind the fact of me being like this. Kanaya says not to talk about it because it hurts my self-esteem.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You turn your attention to some of his cards. Perhaps he can teach you...
Well, if you insist, I will reveal to you my tragic backstory. I used to be more of a hardcore gamer who would do the extreme role plays. And I had a friend, or I thought she was my friend, who I did flirt with.
Oh, you're familiar with Flarp? You're a fortified legger. Come to think of it, you've got a great flirt friend who you might love to meet.
Well, I don't play anymore. Because this old friend of mine did a bad thing to me, resulting in a chain of revenge that was very tragical. Essentially, the story is that I was thrown off a cliff, psychically, and became heavily injured, which resulted in my legs not working.
Oh god, that's terrible.
The culprit continues to hassle me sometimes in ways which are supposedly remorseful, but mostly continue to make me feel bad. For instance, trying to make me learn how to climb stairs, or write better, or telling me I'm useless and awful because I can't. Although, she also sent me this four-wheeled device, which helps me to not be cold. So, that's nice. I guess. Although, maybe she wouldn't have done that if Kanaya didn't say to. I don't know. She's hard to understand. Sometimes, very nice. And other times, extremely not nice. And I can't figure out how she truly feels about me.
Wow, this girl Tavros is talking about seems like a real piece of work. You sure are glad none of your friends or anything like that.
Yeah, but maybe it's best not to think about her. Actually, Kanaya was right. Why don't I teach you how to play?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, here you go! I'm glad I picked Tavros.
Yeah, it is good that you picked Tavros now. Tavros! Tavros freezes up instinctively. Wait, is she outside?
No, I don't think so. Right?
Well, how else does he know
I
it's
guess
her?
she might be outside. What the
bitch, she might be outside.
Oh. Oh no. That's her. The one who injured me.
Oh no. Your spying ice is over. You recognize that telltale exaggerated call? But how can this be? How could your dear, sweet, precious friend Vriska have done such a horrible thing to... Okay, yeah, no, this tracks, actually. Maybe she did do one thing wrong. But why? This isn't like the other kids she killed. You know Vriska is violent and volatile. She had to be to survive. But to harass Tavros after the fact, instead of just feeding him to her Lucis, it doesn't make sense. You feel sick to your stomach. Sweet, precious Vriska. Hey, Tavros! You haven't been answering my messages. We need to talk. Her voice comes from outside the window. Oh, she's just outside. As it moves around the perimeter of the house. You glance at Tavros' stricken face as you hear the sound of keys jingling in a lock. Fuck, she has the keys to his hive? Vaska. Tavros groans and leans back in his chair. Vriska barges into the respite block and then freezes up. Oh, hey. Hey, you say, with an awkward wave. Vriska seems uncomfortable. I didn't know you knew this, dork. It's a friendship in progress. Tavros has told you some things about their past together. Of course he has. Okay, listen. I know it sounds bad, because it is, and I get that, okay? Way back when...
It was less than a sweep ago.
I was part of a flirt campaign that went way off the rails, and Tavros ended up getting thrown off a cliff. It was basically my fault. But that's all in the past now. Things are better now. I hooked Tavros up with this sweet wheelchair and everything.
It's not that sweet.
Shut up, Tavros. I'm talking about how terrible I feel about hurting you. I mean, Vriska's voice just rapidly devolves into a Valley Girl voice whenever I try to do it.
Because you can't just scream constantly.
I can't. Tavros cringes and you try to intercede on his behalf. Why is Vriska here? Oh, right. I'm here to extend an olive branch. Very magnanimously so, if you ask me. Trezzy and I are getting the band back together. Not for Flarp, obviously. That ship has sailed. But we're going to whip this planet into shape and we need all the help we can get. You've spent enough time moping around uselessly. It's time for some action. You're in, right?
No?
What do you mean, no?
I mean, I don't really want to do anything exciting or dangerous like that. And especially because you're going to be involved, I don't think it would be a good idea for me to also be.
He's turning a little Minnesota.
I kind of digging it though. I kind of want to dig deeper.
Oh, hi,
God,
let me just slip by you here. Oops.
Yeah, I hope I didn't lose it. Okay, let me see.
Oh, come on. Things are totally square between us, Tavros. We all got hurt. Besides, I'm just trying to help you live up to your potential. You could be somebody. You could finally start living up to your legacy.
I don't want to be somebody. At least not your kind of somebody.
Tough luck, Toreador. None of us get that choice. If nothing changes by the time your rites of maturation roll around, you're screwed. The drones will cull you in an instant. Vriska turns to you, her eyes wide, her fists trembling. Her frustrated glare barely conceals the desperation beneath. I mean, you agree with me, right? Tavros needs to shape up. He needs us. It's time we put the past behind us and moved on. I'm just trying to help him. She leans closer. It's obvious she wants you to back her up. Oh, 3 options. Oh, Pepe.
Oh, Pepe.
Oh, Pepe. What do you want to do?
Don't take a side.
Don't take a side. Who do you think you are, a centrist? This is a choice-driven narrative game, and that obviously means having to choose between 2 equally unsatisfying, mutually incompatible options, which will forever alienate you from the side you did not pick. Try again. Oh. Double Pepe. Okay.
Guess I'll go fuck myself then.
Guess I'll go fuck myself.
I'm kidding. I get that choice. I think that's an interesting choice. All right. Yeah, I think that's a funny choice. Side with. No, I feel gross. I feel nasty. Just don't play the game. Just stop the game right now.
You know, I would be so tempted to close it as a joke if it wouldn't take so long to set back up again.
Andrea, I think I'm gonna leave it up to you.
Let's do Tavros first. Actually, no, I want to see what happens if you side with Vriska. Well, time to switch to Aradia. Let's do Vriska and see what happens. You can't resist her force of personality. When Vriska speaks, it just sounds right. You tell Tavros that he should accept Vriska's offer. Hell yeah! See, Tavros? My buddy here agrees. Let bygones be bygones. Tavros shrinks into his chair, small and sad. The 2 of you just stare at him as the awkward silence swirls like mist around you. Vriska clenches her fist and steps forward, but you quickly put a hand on her shoulder and she pauses. Ugh. Being around here is depressing, and someone doesn't want my help anyway. Whatever. Come on, Lotus Logan. I've had enough bull for one night. Let's go chill out somewhere less boring. Like, I can't read our stupid names. I almost got through it, but you started fucking giggling over it.
Because they remembered us. I'm so happy.
They know who we are.
She knows me. She knows you. She knows us.
Like, I don't know, an arcade? Maybe a movie theater? What do people without a lucis to take care of even do? You suggest to Vriska that you can find out. Together. She beams.
Okay. Bye, I guess.
Tavros seems conflicted, as though he can't decide whether to be relieved that Vriska is leaving or upset that you're abandoning him. You don't really care, though. You're going to an arcade. Oh. This is a cute screen.
This is a very cute screen. I love her hair.
I like how he managed to get another kind of good end. Somehow. Bless you?
A good ending just because Friska. We love the Faska.
Give us the Vasca.
The Farska.
The Fargo. Okay, let's side with Tavros now. You take a step closer to Tavros, and Vriska visibly deflates. Oh, you say in both routes, eh? Come on, Lotus Logan. You can't seriously be on his side. Yes, you can be, and you are. You think you understand now. You see how Vriska took her suffering and bitterness and passed it along. You see how, under beastly tutelage, she learned to sink her fangs into her prey and tell herself she was doing it for their own good. In these two, you see a microcosm of Alternia, of hurt kids hurting kids, until finally the buck stops at the kindest or weakest among them. So no matter how much sympathy you have for her, you can't stand idly by and let Vriska continue this cycle of hurt. You tell Vriska to look at Tavros, really look at him, and ask yourself if her help has done anything for him. Isn't this the kind of suffering that she and Terezi want to prevent? Right now, the best thing she can do for Tavros is to leave him alone. Leave him alone? You don't get it. None of you do. If I leave him alone, he's toast. Seriously, how have you not figured that out by now? You've seen what this planet is like. You think we can just flip a switch and fix everything over day? He's a worthless loser living in a world that hates losers, and if that doesn't change, he's going to die a sad, pathetic death. And you and Kanaya and everyone else, you're just enabling him. When he croaks, it's going to be on your head, not mine. So if you'd rather hang out with Tavros in this make-believe fairyland, be my guest. But some of us are still going to be living here in the real world. You and Vriska spend a while staring at one another. All you can muster is a look of pity, which only seems to incense her further. Her face scrunches up and then goes steely and flat. Her voice is icily calm. You two have your fun. I'm out. Vriska slams the door shut as she leaves. Tavros exhales a long sigh of relief.
Well, that went pretty well for an encounter with Faska, all things considered. I want to get that Minnesota accent back.
Get her back.
I only feel somewhat terrible about who I am.
It's a hard accent to do, though. I can't do it very well.
I just need to watch Fargo over and over again.
Slowly, gently, you place a comforting hand on Tavros' shoulder and tell him that he deserves better than this. It's not his fault. Vriska is difficult.
Yeah. Kanaya says that too. So I sometimes almost believe her when she does.
The room is silent except for a faint wriggling noise coming from some of the balls on Tavros' floor. You don't know what else to say.
Would you, enjoy playing some Foodaspawn with me, perhaps? Maybe? As a manner of distraction.
Oh, fuck yeah, you tell him. Let's spawn some Fidu. Fiduses. Yeah. Your Flarp experience inured you to Alternian game design, so you're only mildly nauseated when Tavros shows you how the physical version of Fiduspawn works. Chitinous purple critters explode from gooey orbs and infest plushies before bursting out in the form of large monsters with more limbs than you're comfortable with. Also, you have a handful of cards which boost their attributes or allow you to interfere with your opponent's monsters. There's a lot to keep track of here. Before too long, the room is full with chittering purple monstrosities and queasy-looking host plushes on the verge of birthing even more abominations. You are so lost. But you think you're winning? Your creatures appear to be doing a better job of preying on his host plushes and spawning more of themselves. You've got a meter in the corner that keeps going up while his goes down. That's good, right? You think it's good, at least where victory is concerned. But you're more concerned with the dejected look on Tavros' face. He doesn't seem to be giving the game his all. You ask him if he's doing okay.
No.
Wait, why don't you come on in and sit your caboose down on our sofa? Why don't you? It's something about the consonant sounds in that accent is really hard to do. Don't ya?
Don't ya?
Oh, don't ya?
Don't ya? Don't you know?
You sound like you're a Nigerian person trying to do a Minnesota accent. Does that make sense?
That does. I do understand that. I understand why you say that, yes.
Oh, okay, he just came out and said it.
My fun has been stymied? Stymied. My fun has been stymied, I think. My thoughts about Friska.
I like how since the first time you said Friska, it's been a different pronunciation every time. He wheels himself over to the window and looks despondently out.
I feel like he's so awkward that it kind of fits.
It does, it's funny.
I used to like Friska a lot, you know? And admire her for her many qualities that were good, such as being very confident or having skills at games. But now I just hate her. Or feel like I should hate her. But instead, do not feel those feelings. In their place, I feel very conflicted and bad about myself. And no wonder if there's something wrong that I can't feel as angry as I should. Or make myself become strong enough to talk to her properly about my feelings. It's just a big mess.
You glance again at the posters lining Tavros' walls. Sprightly fairy girls with confident smiles, long messy hair, and blue color schemes. The resemblance to Vriska is uncanny, but superficial. She's never going to be like the girl from his posters. That's just not who Vriska is. Okay, I see where the joke comes from now. But for a sad, hurt boy who likes to dream, she must seem so painfully close. This is a problem too big for you to untangle right now. You need to redirect Tavros' thoughts. You close your eyes and ask your intuition. What should you do?
One of these feels like it could be a very bad idea. But you know what? Let's help him fly.
Yeah, let's do.
Fly, Poopa, Poopa.
Don't say Poopa.
Fly, Poopa.
God damn it! It has been 0 days since Logan's last poop joke.
That wasn't even on purpose, but it was funny.
But the second you realized, it became one. From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glint of glimmering gold. When you open your eyes, Pupa Pan stares back at you. Unlike him, you don't have special stardust, but you think you might have something better. You tell Tavros you'll be right back. Sort of. The now familiar Prospidian spires greet you. You swoop through the shiny architecture until you find those towers that seem to house the dreaming children. Sure enough, Tavros' dream self can be found in one tower, nestled comfortably in a Recuperaccoon. You poke him on the cheek. No response. You give him a little shake. Nothing. With a sigh, you rear back your hand and slap him hard. Tavros remains asleep. He's practically comatose. Why? This feels so off. Carcat is awake, and Tavros isn't, and something about that is just wrong. It's all wrong. How can you help Tavros under these circumstances? Oh, I didn't even get to finish reading it, Tavros yawns as he rises blearily from his slumber and squints around. He crawls out of the Recuperaccoon and reaches over to the ramp beside it with an instinctual motion. His hands find no wheelchair and he tumbles over, and then quickly rises, and realizes with a start that he's floating in midair.
Whoa, wait, what?
Surprise! You inform Tavros that this is the mystical world of dreams that is part of the game he was supposed to play one day, but now isn't going to. Maybe? Probably. You'll be honest, you still don't know exactly how this works. But you do know that this is a land where he can fly.
That seems highly improbable. That such a world would exist? Or especially that I would be allowed to enter it and fly freely around with no repercussions. I don't know why I said that
I don't know
way.
why you said it like that either.
It just seems like a thing that would never eventually happen to me. Does it not?
But it is happening, you tell him. You prove it by pinching his arm. He flinches.
Why did you just assault me?
It's a thing. Pinching is... Okay, this is a cultural misunderstanding. But the fact that he can feel pain should prove that this place is real, or at least as real as a magic dream world can be.
I see. My arm does certainly hurt in a realistic manner, as well as my feelings due to the uncalled for attack from a friendly individual.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You tell Tavros to stop worrying about that and start unworrying about how he can fly now.
Oh, yeah!
With unsteady movements, Tavros begins to circle his dream room. He holds his hands out as he sails around, floating upwards and then dipping down. He seems to get the hang of it quickly, and as he does, his face cracks into a warm smile.
Oh, woo! Oh, this feels really amazing!
At your invitation, Tavros follows you out the window and sees Prospit stretching toward him. His eyes go all starry.
Can I really explore all of this area?
He can, you tell him. Probably. Just don't go barging into anyone's houses.
Hell. Okay.
Oh, that okay was so cute. Okay.
Stop!
Tavros does loops and twirls, pirouettes around spires, and weaves through throngs of Prospidian civilians. He hoots and hollers, the anxious crescendo in his voice nearly absent. The sound echoes among the golden towers and rebounds back at you, a cacophony of childlike exhilaration. You swoop alongside him, buoyed by his excitement, and the two of you begin to race each other around the planet. You run out of energy before Tavros does, but eventually he comes down from his high. He floats lazily beside you, upside down, his mohawk hanging down into his face. What?
What?
What? Wait. If he's upside down...
Maybe because it's Prospit, gravity's backwards, so it's...
Oh, you think he's like underwater floaty where like his hair is everywhere?
Yeah.
Sure! His eyes are locked on the sky and clouds and he's wearing a wide, if oddly blank, grin. I like him just
Hey.
inching across the screen.
I know, it's cute! It's really cute! I want to thank you for doing this for me, allowing me to feel this freedom and joy. It really means a lot.
You're starting to sound a little bit like Roosevelt. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do, and I feel like I've been like 50 different people in this one
It's
interview.
okay, voices are hard. You grin and give him a thumbs up. You're glad you could help.
Yeah, me too.
You glance up at the clouds. How long have you been out here? You figure it's probably time to head back to the real world. You tell him you'll teleport back and then wake him up.
What? Oh, no! Don't wake me up, please! I don't want to go back to that life. When I could spend my days here, forever feeling blissful and happy for once.
You pause. That's not the response you were expecting. Although, you suppose you should have seen this coming. What about his friends? His responsibilities in the waking world? What happens when the drones come knocking?
Well, those are some pertinent questions which I don't care about, though. This is where I am happy and where I belong. That's what you wanted, right? To help me be happy.
Right.
Then your work is done.
He smiles at you, and you feel like you should smile back, but there's a hint of sadness behind his eyes that gives you pause. It's like he's waiting for you to take charge and tell him off for choosing escapism. Waiting for you to make the hard decision he doesn't have the guts to make. But that's not the kind of person you are. If he'd rather spend most of his time asleep, that's good enough for you. Given the planet he lives on, you can't blame him. So you give him a little wave and vanish into the ether of canon. By the time he works up the nerve to say something, you're already gone. Oh, he sweeps.
Aww.
He sweeps, Logan.
That is kind of a scary ending.
It is kind of scary.
He's just asleep now, in a coma. I think it's interesting that it's technically... None of these endings have been labeled bad or good.
Well, we do have one more.
Have you noticed, is that something that was present during the other routes?
Well, usually there would either be like two good endings. Well, I mean, they were never labeled that, but it was kind of obvious what they were. Like when you kill Spider Mom, it didn't say good ending. It said like fuck yeah, or so it said some long thing I want to say about throwing a spider into a volcano.
Oh, I guess that's true. So it was mostly just the context of...
Right. These are a little more ambiguous endings.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Because these have both been happy endings for the people in the end cards, but they haven't necessarily been good. They're a little different. From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glint of cold iron. When you open your eyes, Pupa... Wait, did I press the right thing?
Yeah. Because it's cold iron and not glittering gold.
Oh, yeah. When you open your eyes, Pupa Pan stares back at you. He would have you believe that faith is all it takes to fly, but you think Tavros could use something a little more material. You put a gentle hand on his shoulder and ask him what you can do to help him spread his wings. His metaphorical wings, that is. It's not like he could ever sprout real ones. The very thought is absurd. Tavros sighs. Sigh, Logan.
Oh. Was that good?
Yeah.
I just wish... Oh. I just wish I could live more independently, I guess. To take charge of my life and become less under Frisco's thumb.
You think Tavros could use some better friends? Real friends.
I do have some. Napatha is very kind to me often. Gamzee and I like to throw down sick rhymes.
Please don't make us read this. Please don't make us read this.
And Kanaya tries to help with Friska.
Hi, Shakuma. You haven't missed too much? I mean, it depends on how much you like Tavros, but we've only done most of Tavros so far.
But there's not a lot they can do when you live far away.
Next time better be Nepeta, because I really thought it was going to be her this time. I was completely wrong.
And as nice as my Lussus is, he is unable to help me with all my issues due to his small size limiting him to only moving and carrying small objects to me when I require them. The simple fact is that I didn't build my hive with the expectation of one day using a four-wheeled device to navigate it.
Can Tavros move to a better hive? Could you help him with that?
No. As a bronze, the stipend I received is not enough to cover such things. Even this four-wheeled device, which is highly basic compared to some high blood models, would have cost me over a wipe's worth of savings. Wipe is such a bad word to use for passage of time. Few changes are available to me, economically speaking, especially if I want to not alert drones to my unsuitedness for troll expectations.
You see, if money is the issue, that's not something you can help him with. At least, not directly. Ooh, can we get...
Are we gonna make Tavros rich?
I want this to be MSPA Readers 12, where we go on an elaborate heist. But you might know others who can. You tell Tavros that you're going to step out for a moment to fetch a mutual friend.
Are we gonna go?
I thought we were gonna get Gamzee. He's the rich one.
I thought even Equius, because Equius can make him robot legs.
Yeah. But we're not smart enough. At least not right now. He seems briefly surprised when you return with Kanaya. You guess you don't blame him. This strikes you as a pretty rare pairing, conversationally speaking.
Oh. Kanaya?
This Kanaya sprite is so good. I love her hair.
I know. It's nice to see you. In person. Unexpectedly. Wow. My hive is terrible
Stop
looking.
saying wow like that.
Wow. He looks like I feel like it fits.
It does, canon. I just hate it.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry, but hi. You look nice.
Are you also Kanaya? I can't remember.
Yes, I was. Alright, I got this. Yes, I do. How are you faring? Has my advice regarding the construction of an imaginary friend helped aid your self-esteem? Well, I haven't really got to try it yet, so no, it hasn't, I guess.
Skylar says that when you say wow, you sound like a snail from SpongeBob.
Wow. You're right, Skylar. Wow.
Kanaya suppresses a sigh. No, yeah, you sound like, you know when they all get injected with that snail...
Yeah!
The snail bone marrow or whatever, and they all turn into snails.
Fuck. Okay. Well, let's get directly to business. I've brought some materials with which to renovate your hive. Oh! Please, advise us as to how best to redesign the place to suit your needs.
Tavros' eyes water up and he sniffs, leaning forward in his chair.
Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Really? You would do that for me? Despite it taking a large portion of time and effort and presumably money as well? I don't really spend my stipend on much besides fabric. And I intend to twist Friska's arm until she offers a portion of her flarping treasure to foot the bill too. And, of course, I'd do it for you. Any less would be a rejection of my helpful sensibilities.
You know that one Oprah gift that's like, she is the mother I never had? Kanaya says it with a neutral tone and a straight face, as if there's nothing remarkable about it, but Tavros nevertheless breaks into a grin.
Wow! Thanks! Okay, give me some time to develop ideas on how to properly jack this hive up and deliver the most utterly doped, pimped up changes. This is gonna be so great. That was cute.
We're not done yet.
Oh!
You give Tavros the requested time and then begin to work in earnest. You weren't sure what to expect, but the construction process proved smoother than anticipated. Wow, Kanaya really can do it all. Kanaya brings a set of alien devices which she claims to have borrowed from a sea-dwelling friend of hers. One converts raw materials into a strange substance that reminds you of fruit gushers. Oh, that's the thingies. The thingies, you know?
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Is it called
Grist?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Grist
I thought that only existed
on
in the
Alternia?
game. Oh, wait. Well, there's Sea Dweller. I don't know. She could be talking about either Sea Dweller, but does the Condescension have Esperb stuff? Like, does she have it?
I have literally no idea. She might, I think. But at this point, she wouldn't be under Lord English's rule. And even though the Condescension might have it, I don't think Feferi would would have access. But Aridin
Is a bastard.
kind of like is a bastard historian. So maybe he's like dug some shit up or something. I don't know. I hate Homestead.
Go to liminalspacecomics.com.
Oh god, I feel so bad because I got that anon about why do you hate Jade Harley, and then I made that tweet. Ignore my website. I hate Jade Harley.
Wait,
something.
that's the right URL, right? Yeah.
That is.
Oh,
shut up!
Confused. No. Oh, Lost Troll Skynet Tech. Time to torrent people negative grist. I'm confused. I don't get it. Logan, I haven't read this comic a lot. Help me.
Wait, I'm also confused. Technically, this should not be a real thing. Pesterquest takes all the rules and just doesn't.
Says fuck them. Maybe it originally existed on Alternia and it's an Earth's copy of the game because Earth was created from Alternia? Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
I always thought it was a game mechanic.
It's a game. I'm pretty sure it's a game mechanic.
Well, Umbrella is saying maybe it's based off of a real thing that was in Alternia.
Oh, that's true. Maybe. I think it's just kind of like a fun thing to throw in. And it doesn't, I don't think Pesterquest really pertains to rules. Like, we've already, like, if it did, technically the kids would not still be existing.
True.
So, I think anything really goes.
But Homestuck always pulls some bullshit out at the last chapter, and it's like, oh. Hi, Lisa. They said Alternians were trained for Esper by measuring kids by their architectural prowess?
Maybe. Huh. What the fuck? Hi, Lisa! I'm glad you can make it. I don't know.
Whatever, I'm just gonna keep reading. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Kanaya fells trees with her chainsaw and feeds them into the machine, and before long you have a trove of the gusher things. The other device expands the gushers to modify buildings. It has a holographic click and drag interface, much like The Sims played in real life. You find this construction software to be incredibly handy and also eerily familiar, but honestly you find everything eerily familiar these days.
Yes, it's very convenient.
Since the Skynet people had stuff similar to Escrobe stuff, maybe it's something like that. I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the secret, is that I've read Homestuck once and didn't understand most of it. So I don't know what's going on, so I'm leaving it up to everybody else to know what the fuck is happening.
Andrea, I was gonna ask, so based off, like, that, do you feel like Pesterquest has helped you understand Homestuck a little bit better, or it's a good introductory?
No. No. Here's the thing that you have to understand, Logan, is that you have read Homestuck and are playing it with me, and also we regularly have, like, at least 5 people who know Homestuck pretty well that I can ask questions. Like, there's all the little references I get because I read Homestuck once. And if I hadn't read Homestuck once, I wouldn't get them at all, and I don't think it would be very interesting. And then, also, the characters... Like, Pesterquest is kind of fan service. Like, that's kind of the point, I feel like.
Yeah.
So if you're not already a fan, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like watching Star Trek.
Yeah! Okay, I feel that. I feel like a lot of people within the fandom do see it as like a good introductory thing, since the actual webcomic is so hard to get through. Especially
That's true. That is true.
Maybe. I think sometimes one thing you have to remember too is that people just like characters.
Yeah, that is true, but I wouldn't say it's a good introduction to Homestuck.
I feel that.
Like, I mean, when I think of Vriska and Tavros' roots so far, like, Vriska is riddled with, like, little references and fandom jokes and things, and if you haven't read Homestuck or know about the fandom, like, they mean nothing. They just go completely over your head. Like, Vriska did nothing wrong, that's just a sentence, you know? If you don't know it.
Yeah, I agree.
Did they mention it in Friend Sim? I don't know. We still haven't played Friend Sim.
I don't know.
I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
Every single time we think about Friend Sim, something goes wrong.
It really does. It's impossible for some reason.
Last time
Blame God.
Last time we were just tired, but also I think we were scared. At this point,
That is true.
I'm scared.
Yeah, it would be a culture shock to read Homestuck after Pesterquest and read 2008 Hussy. I was joking with Logan that I would if we ended up doing like a podcast or something that I would reread part of Homestuck, and then I was like, actually no, I wouldn't. It would take too long, and I don't want to. I don't want to have to get through it. I don't want to have to open a Pester log and see a wall of orange text and know that I have to read it.
It's literally, I feel like half of it is just the fact that you know Dirk exists in Homestuck.
I know Dirk exists, and I know Dave exists, and I know Rose exists, because I love Rose, but
she's
holy
hard to read.
Fuck, is it hard? Yeah, that's the thing that I was thinking about this the other day. When I read Homestuck when I was like 13, I was a pretty good reader, had a pretty big vocabulary and whatnot. I had to keep a dictionary tab of like a Merriam's-Webster tab open 24/7 while I read Homestuck. I still do. Yeah, it's impossible to fucking read. And then every time I open like Dirk's or Dave's, I'm like, listen, sometimes they're funny, but do I really want to read 10 paragraphs of bullshit that I also have a hard time reading? No, I don't. Jake is like that too. Jake just talks absolute horse shit. Like, nothing he says makes any fucking sense.
It's true. Jake makes so much, like, just no
Jake
sense.
reads like a fucking bot. Like, yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, it's true. See, it's almost like it's entered that realm where I almost find it more enjoyable than the Striders, just because it's so quirky. It's not like, I don't know, it's just so quirky and funny. While Dave's is
funny,
more...
but after a certain time, I'm like, please say something.
Please be normal.
Please be coherent.
Please.
Yeah, Skylar's right. Vriska's root means nothing if you didn't read the comic, because you have to know who she was to understand it and like make you feel something in your heart. I wanted to reread a part of Homestuck, and then I opened a Pesterlog and was like, maybe not. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever read the epilogues or Homestuck 2. I can't. There's too much Dirk, and he's too hard to read and too annoying. Stupid. Sorry to the Dirk fans in the audience, I just can't. I'm a lesbian, I automatically hate him.
It's true. You're either born a Dirk lesbian or you hate him.
That's
you can't
true.
stand lesbians. True. There's literally no fucking in between with lesbians and Dirk. There's no in between. It's so fucking funny.
Oh, wait, go.
Oh, I was just gonna start reading again. So you can.
This is something I was thinking about the other day. I think we can pretty unequivocally say Dave is the most popular character in Homestuck by like an incredibly wide margin.
Yeah. Oh,
like that... unquestionably.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Like, I'm just saying, as someone who doesn't pay attention anymore, it still is true, and I think it's because there's so much fucking text in Homestuck, and a lot of it is Dave's, and Dave is funny. Like, as much as you and I make fun of Dave, reading Dave's Pester logs is funny, and he's the only character really that is like trying to be funny to an audience. Like when Solix and Karkat talk to each other, they're not trying to be funny, but they're funny because they're ridiculous fucking characters.
Yeah. That
are interacting with each other. Whereas Dave is actively trying to be funny all the time. And I think the reason so many people like Dave, like such a high percentage of Homestuck fans like Dave, is because the comic really like lives or dies by him. Like if you open Homestuck and you read Dave's Pester logs and you don't think he's the funniest fucking thing ever, that comic is going to be miserable to read. Because there's a lot of Dave text, and a lot of the humor in Homestuck is explicitly based on like the way Dave's character makes jokes. So if you read Dave and he's not funny, Homestuck isn't funny. And that's like half of the point, is for it to be funny.
I feel it. I do. I feel that a lot. I think that's a huge point of it too. I think it also comes down to the fact that I think Dave is just not as strong of an archetype as other characters are, but he is just enough to be something that's easily projectable on. Without to be easily projectable on, because that's a big reason why people.
Ain't that some shit?
Like Dave is not a character that really affects anybody else. Is not a character that. Well,
get her, Jade. Get her, Jade.
Well, it's like Dave is so.
Hi, goddess.
Focused on self, but unlike John and Jade, projects outward and externally, so you do get a glimpse of what he's thinking, like at all times. So it's like. It's this weird thing where he's definitely the most accessible character based off.
Oh yeah, what Skylar said. He's not the most important part, but he really holds all the important parts together.
Exactly. Like all of the major themes of Homestuck do get kind of thought through the most through Dave.
Also, what Lisa said, it's the author insert. Get her, Jade.
Also, yeah.
I like how when I say get her, Jade, in a Homestuck context, it takes on sort of a whole new meaning instead of me just fucking around. He is the most shippable. Sorry, I thought you said the most skippable, and I was like, whoa, we're going a little crazy here. Goddamn, we're really coming for him.
That's true. Well, that's really true too. Like, I mean, if you think of it, John Dave and Dave Cat both have almost like what? Like, I know John Dave has almost like over 3,500 fics.
And then
at
there
least.
was also
maybe
Dave
400.
Resi, and then Dave and Tavros, I think, was a thing.
Dave and Tavros was a thing. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at the number of fics between Dave John and Dave Cat, there is about 10k fics alone of that are centered around Dave's character type.
Also, it's fun to try to be funny. And so I imagine Dave is much more fun to write. Like, you said earlier, the internet is obsessed with sassy blonde twinks. Get her, goddess! But earlier we were talking about how, like, apparently some of the writers had said, like, Tavros isn't their favorite and they don't super care for Tavros. And it makes sense. If you told me you have to write a quest for Tavros or Dave, pick one, I'd be like, well... So I want to write about someone who's miserable 24/7 and is kind of a sad boy and has a tragic backstory and everything is just kind of a disaster and he tends to complain a lot, validly so, but it's like, do I want to write that? Fuck no. Do I want to write about someone who tries to be funny and has a lot of like goofy traits, who has a tragic backstory that I could dip into if I wanted to? Yes.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
It's a pretty simple thing, I think. Yeah, whoever forgets Kick It Barack. Exactly.
I think you're exactly right. Like, the thing is that one of Dave's traits is, as a character, he wants to be funny.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Really bad.
And everybody's like, I kin that.
I kin. Signed, sealed, delivered. That's a kin, mama. You know what's funny? Because I was gonna try to save this in-depth conversation for after we finish the roots, but whatever, we can't control anything. It just happens.
We really can't. They started building shit, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna segue.
Yeah, Tavros and Dave are basically the same, except Dave hides his pain beside humor and long-winded analogies. Exactly.
I think it's also everybody wants to try their hand at being the funniest Dave line.
Right, yeah. Everyone wants to be the next Kick It Barack.
It's true, it's awful. Which is, I think, the reason why Dave doesn't do it for me, because I feel like Dave is not as defined in his traits, so it's not as much of a character study.
Yeah.
Which is why, even though Dave and Cardcat are the same fucking character, I lean so hard into Cardcat, because that's more of a defined archetype.
Yeah. Well, because Dave is part character and part self-insert, and those things sometimes combat each other. I think
that's true.
And make him a little bit more complicated, whereas Cardcat is just a character, I think.
Yeah. Also,
Poor Dave.
poor Dave. Also, Lisa's right. Dave is that middle school crush that's mean to you, kind of, but you want his approval. And then you see Homestuck and you're like, oh, my middle school crush actually became a nice person instead of the reality, which is that they're still
terrible.
mean. And they're ugly.
And they're ugly. Casey Frey would never do this to you.
Casey Frey would not ever do this to me. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
we should
continue.
probably start reading it. Sorry, guys, for this tangent.
Home construction has been an important part of troll culture for as long as history remembers. Most do not know why, although to me, the reason is obvious.
People need houses.
Preparations for the game, which we will now no longer be playing due to outside interference.
Wait, I'm lost again.
So
I'm lost again.
Well, I think that's right. Like suburb.
No, because
So I
think Lisa said this earlier also, or maybe it was Gardner. I'm sorry. It's been a whole 5 minutes. I forgot. Okay? Is the game like a prophecy thing, and it's like whichever kids are the best end up playing it, or like what's the deal with the game and troll culture? Because I don't remember this.
Oh, okay. So basically, Doc Scratch has been using the Handmaiden to affect troll culture this entire time, in hopes of perfecting it to be suitable for playing the game.
Oh, okay.
So they're using timey-wimey magics to just fuck everything up. Purposefully.
Okay.
Because what happened was, before this troll session, the same thing that happened to the beta session happened to the Dancestors. So they scratched, and that's what made this universe. And Doc Scratch used that scratch to... I hate saying all these words. Never mind. Let's keep going.
Okay. Well, I more or less get it. Wait, she knows about that? Oh, is it about to be explained to me? Oops.
Yes. I figured out what was going on a day or two after you visited me, but I thought it prudent not to get particularly dramatic about it all. I forgot, she would know too because she's been awake on Prospect. I always forget about that.
She's space.
Yeah, so she knows about the game just like Jade did.
Wait, Skylar, what's Carcat's best line in the comic? Which one is that?
All of them.
All of them. Okay. That was very thoughtful of her. Logan, say yeah. Say yeah so I can read the Carcat.
Sorry, I was reading Skylar's thing! Yeah.
Yeah. You appear to be jump-starting a facetious discussion about some sort of human economic ideological framework without having the slightest clue that your vehicle is parked squarely in the nobody gives a fuck zone. It's really good. Karka has very good insults, I will say.
They're just fun.
They're
very...
fun.
Yeah, he's just fun. I love that little boy.
They're very, vivid.
The way you say that.
Vivid.
Vivid. I felt like it was a little bit scornful, but also just very fancy.
No, I was trying to think of the right word.
Oh.
He paints a picture, is what I meant to say.
I try.
Doo-doo. Kanai finishes feeding logs into the first device and begins to manipulate Tavros' hive with the other. Together, you are a clockwork team. Tavros provides directions, Kanai implements them with her stellar sense of design, and you provide moral support by standing around looking cute.
With our fat ass.
With our fat ass. People only keep us around because we're dumb, you think.
I know that life. Okay. Yes. Nudge that shelf over to the left. Yeah, like that. Wait, actually, right.
I love this sprite of Kanai pressing exactly one key. Like, excuse me. Fine, I will move it one space to the right. Wait, what button is it that I just pressed? Oh shit. This one? Okay. Have either of you heard about that person who's reading Homestuck with little to no prior knowledge about it? They got to the trolls recently? No, I haven't heard about that.
I have heard about that, but I have not looked into it.
Think Rev? I don't know.
Further. Okay. No. Go back. She's about to quit. She's about to rage quit. A bit
Look
more.
at her face.
A bit more. That's almost good. Now, make it a little tad higher. Yes. Now lower. There. There. Right there. And... yes, perfect. I think. Okay, actually, can you go back to where it first was?
This guy? In the end, it takes until the next day to finish construction, which is actually great time. You're expecting to have to zap forward once or twice for the sake of narrative brevity, but with the Alternian build tools, Tavros' hive is swiftly renovated. It's far more spacious than it once was, with ramps and rails aplenty. Under Tavros' guidance, you widened hallways, lowered counters, revamped bathrooms. It's like a brand new house. You don't have a ribbon to cut in celebration, so Tavros summons some bizarre phytospawn creatures to shoot confetti all around the entrance to the hive. It's all gross and sticky and you hate every second of it, but he's having fun. After that, Tavros spends a while just exploring the hive. He wheels himself around each block, awed by the ease with which he can navigate the space. By the time he returns to his respite block, his grin is radiant. You take it he likes the new place.
Oh, yes. This pad is now genuinely frigid. It makes me feel more confident, like the world is my devolved jeweled container. I was like, is that a fucking real word?
Yeah, bivalved?
Bivalved? Oh.
Because oysters and clams are bivalves.
I hate me.
It's stupid.
Stupid fucking idiot, fucking dummy.
Oh, please read this line. Please read this line.
Like, I could say to Friska, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. Bitch. I hate reading that so much. Okay, I won't say that. Probably. But I could. Actually, maybe I will say that. As well as plenty of other deliriously rude things, which long I have avoided saying.
Okay, that's probably enough, you tell him. Kanaya is staring icily at him, but he doesn't seem to notice. You suggest that it's a good time to settle down. The sun's going to be rising pretty soon. Also, jeez. I hate this tab face. No!
Don't say that. Lisa, don't say that. He just wants to have a good time.
He's just trying to have fun. Let the boy live. Yeah, Kanaya... what's that one... Ah, I forget what that TV show's called. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where it's like no face journeys. That's Kanaya.
Okay. Right. While we have some moonlight, would you like to stay for a while, Kanaya? And play some games with us? Oh, no. That's quite alright.
I love her fucking claws.
I'm afraid I have duties to attend to at home. I left a dress in the oven.
Kanaya blinks and carefully maintains her poise.
It's made out of clay, so you see? I'm getting experimental. Oh, that makes sense. Well, goodbye.
I wish she did do the, the little peace sign. Peace sign.
Oh, that'd be cute.
She smiles at Tavros and shoots you a pointed glance. You take it as your cue to place a hand on her shoulder, concentrate on her hive, and send her back in a flash of light. Once she's gone, Tavros wheels up to you and nudges you in the hip.
So, regarding Kanaya, this could perhaps be me misreading the situation, but when I reach deep inside and tap into the marvelous power of the self-esteem, it tells me that I'm very bright and smart. Did you see the way she was smiling at me? Almost in a way as to suggest amorous inclinations.
I'm back to Lisa. I hate the face now. He waggles his eyebrows furiously in your direction. Oh, jeez. You tell Tavros that's just, what friendship looks like. She's not his type. And trust me, you say.
Drat. But, oh wow.
Tavros, honey, no, she's a lesbian.
I think there is a saying about this, that the sea has many fish in it. Now that I am feeling better, I think perhaps I will one day go fishing. For a quadrant or two.
Well, it's a start. It's gonna take some time for this kid to figure out what genuine self-esteem is like. But just like the Prospidian clouds part to reveal a brilliant sky in blue, you think Tavros is on the verge of seeing the sun. The moon? This metaphor would work better on Earth. Tavros can be more than he is, and he doesn't need to change to do it. When he offers you a smile, there's a spark of compassion behind it that tells you he's already worth the world. All he ever needed was someone to believe in him. And money. He also needed money.
So, would you like to perhaps celebratorily play a round or two of Foodist fun with me? I am feeling much more prepared to enjoy a game, and perhaps think that this time I will proceed to crush you with my incredible might as a Foodist spawn breeder. Except, I mean that in a nice way. Like, that of a friendly challenge. If you'll accept.
The word friend in that sentence was all you needed to hear. Playing games. Ay, they're so ugly. I love this anime face on us, though.
I love it.
I hate it.
I love it.
I hate this bug. I hate how sad that bear looks. I hate his socks with sandals. He could at least... Where did he get white socks? I thought white socks didn't fucking exist in Alternia.
Maybe they all, like, that's the only piece of clothing in Alternia that isn't black.
White socks and brown sandals.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you like my voice.
They gave Tavros chanclas, and I'm here for it.
My name's Tavros.
Who's ready for girl?
I wanna fuck.
Shut up. I'll kick you off this stream. I have the power. Look what you've done to my poor chat. Look what you've done to them.
That's what he said in that thing. I didn't make that up.
Not verbatim.
Amorous inclinations. Oh, I wanna fuck.
Why? Okay, I was thinking about this while you were saying that. While it was the line of him saying that he thought Kanaya was looking at him a certain way, is that you know who would make a great Tavros voice?
Who?
Griffin McElroy.
Stop. You're
cursed,
right.
Cursed. Yeah, Skylar says don't let them dissuade you. Be the sexy Tavros.
Would you like to go back to my suave pad?
You didn't even say swag right, you fucking loser.
I said suave.
You said suave, ma'am.
Swag. I was trying to say, yeah, because Tavros is bad at things.
Combination swag and suave hive.
Stop.
You almost killed Goddess. They choked on their cereal.
Goddess, I'm so sorry. I just had...
Oh, Skylar already has regrets. Sorry. Reel it back in. Reel back in the sexy
I'm
time.
sorry, Skylar. The fuck can't stop, though.
Why? You could say I'm like... Troll Casey Frey. Can you imagine the fucking bitch Vine, but with Tavros?
Bitch.
Tavros dancing like Casey Freida.
Oh, shut up, everybody. This is too much.
No.
I did this. I do this.
The question is, Gamzee's just like, fuck yeah, break it down.
God, I don't even remember my Gamzee voice.
Didn't see you there.
Fuck yeah, break it down, brother.
I hate that I did this.
Fuck yeah.
I hate that I've enabled you.
I like to come to the party of fuck.
Because of the way you paused, I really thought you were just gonna say, I like to come, and then nothing else. I thought that's where you were going, and I was like, why did I bring you here?
This is exactly why you brought me here.
It's
all
true.
Right?
It's true. It's true. It's true, and I hate it.